What's up, guys? Welcome to November 2024 paper 1 grade 12 paper. Today let's have a look at question 1, and then we are gonna stick around to do all the questions up until the last question on this paper, which was question 11 or 10, yeah, but stick around and then we'll do all these questions together. At the end of this video you can click and then there's a playlist where it will take you to question 2, 3, 4 up until the end, and we will upload again also a paper 2 as well. So let's have a look at 1.1 here. It says you need to solve for x from 1.1.1 up until 1.1.5. all right, so now 1.1.1 they want us to solve for x. It says here 1.1.1 says here x and then x minus 3 is equal to 0. Therefore, when you solve for x, simple, straightforward, x is equal to 0, or it's gonna come here and say x is minus 3, it's equal to 0. Therefore, you take 3 to the other side, so x is equal to 3. All right, so those are your values right there. All right, so moving right along, 1.1.2, 1.1.2, it says here 2x squared plus 1 is equals to 4x. It says here solve for x correct to 2 decimal places. You know, when they ask you for 2 decimal places, they are asking you to use what? A quadratic formula to solve for this. They are asking you to use a quadratic formula to solve for this. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we can do here. So we need to take this 4 to the other side, so it's going to be 2x squared. Take 4 to the other side. I'm just gonna say minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. So now therefore what you have here, you've got a, therefore this is minus 4 is equal to b, and then here it's equal to c. So therefore our formula says that x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4a all over 2a, minus 4ac all over 2a. So therefore we need to substitute this numbers here into this equation. So we're just gonna come here, I'm gonna continue up here. X is equals to minus b, which says here it's equals to minus, therefore b is what? It's minus 4 close, therefore plus or minus square root of b, which is minus 4 all squared, minus 4 a, it's what? A is equal to 2, and then what is c? Thank you very much. If you said c, it's 1, and then all over 2 into 2a, so a is what? It's also equal to 2. So I'm just gonna jump right away into my calculator. If you've got a Casio calculator, guys, you can put this all together here. I'm expecting you, because you are in grade 12 by now, you should know what to do here. The other one will be plus, then you will change the sign and put a negative. So I have randomly done that, and then what I found is that x is equal to 1.71, or x is equal to 0.29. all right, so if you got a different answer from the one I got, please let me know on the comment section below. Maybe I'm the one who made a mistake, or you made a mistake, we did it differently. So please let me know what you guys think on this one. So moving right along to 1.1.3, it says here it's an inequality 2x minus 2x minus 3 greater than 0, right? So therefore here in this one we're gonna go straight away and look for critical values, because already it means now we're gonna write 2x squared minus 2x minus 3 should be equal to 0. We are looking for the factors that when you multiply together they give us minus 3. We know that is going to be 3 and 1, so they just have to be negative and positive. There you go. So our critical values is going to x is equal to minus 1, or x is equal to 3. So now here we have got these critical values. Now let's have a look at the solution. Then we're gonna have two possible solutions using our inequality sign. Either our value will lie between -1 and 3. If it's in between, you're going to express it like this. It's going to be x greater than -1 or x less than 3. Or if it's lying outside, so it means our value will have to be x less than -1 or x greater than 3. So now what do you do in this case? So in this case, in order to find out which one is correct between these two, these are the two possible solutions that are there. Or guys, you can use the diagram, others, but basically just use whatever you prefer in this instant. So for me now, I prefer using this one because I know that the solution has to either be between these two values, or it can be outside the two values. So now in between here, we can choose what? Which number is in between? I can choose 2. So we're gonna choose 2, and then we substitute 2 there. All right, if we put 2 here on this here, let's see if we put 2, the answer we're going to get will be greater than 0. If not, therefore this is not the solution. The other one will therefore be the solution. So if you were to put here, you're going to have 2 squared here, which is going to give us, let me use a different color to illustrate this so that you guys can easily follow. We are going to have 2. I'm putting 2 here. 2 squared is going to give me 4. 2 times 2 is going to give us 4, and then -3. So what do you have here? Our answer is -3. -3 is not greater than 0. Therefore, this can be the solution. So this 4 is not the solution. So our solution will therefore be this one here. You can do it like that, or you can use the number line, whichever way you prefer, guys. I prefer using this one because it's much easier and simpler. Then you just choose the solution. Therefore, on your paper you can write 1, or you can do this one on your question paper, then you write the correct answer thereof. Right, so now let's go to 1.1.4, which is this one here. It's an already when you see this one, you know guys, this is an exponent. Therefore we need to solve for x on this exponent, which is 2 to the power of 2x minus 2 to the power of x plus 2 minus 2 is equals to 0. So therefore what you need to do here, you need to break this apart, because now 2 to the power of x all to the power of 2 is going to be minus 2 to the power of x, which before it was like that, then you need to separate them. Minus 32, you're gonna leave it like that because minus 32, it is just a constant, so you leave it like that. So now if you see here, what is inside here is 2 to the power of x, then you've got 2 to the power of x there as well. So therefore these two, you can therefore easily say let 2 to the power of x be equal to k. So now you're gonna put k there. On this one is going to be k squared minus 2 to the power of 2 squared is giving us 4, and then here in space of 2 to the power of x, you're gonna put k minus 32 is equal to 0. Now you look for the factors. So when you multiply them together, they give you 32. Okay guys, if you are in grade 12 by now, you should really know how to factorize. So therefore here you are going to have k, you're going to have k, so therefore 8 times 4 will give you 32. So you're going to have minus 32 here, minus 4 there. Oh, sorry, plus 4. Therefore k is going to be equals to 8, or k is going to be equals to -4. So therefore in this case you need to substitute back the 2 to the power of x into here. So you're going to have 2 to the power of x. Then if you change this 8 to make it the power of 3, you're going to have 2 to the power of 3. And we know here that there's no way that 2 to the power of x can be a negative number. So therefore this one won't work for us. Then we know that x is equal to 3. All right. So that's how you would deal with this exponent one. Immediately when you see exponent, guys, just think of using k. Think of what? Using k. All right. So let's move on to the last question, which is 1.3. 1.5 rather. I mean to say here it's a square root, guys. I know it's not it's not that visible, so we're busy with this question right here, 1.15. So therefore it is equal to square root of negative 2x plus 4 minus x is equal to 2. Therefore, what you need to do here, we can already see that what we have here is a square root, so we need to eliminate the square root. So we're going to isolate the square root and put it on its own, or put the square root alone. So we're going to take negative x to that side. Therefore, this side we're going to be left with a square root minus 2x plus 4. All of them inside the square root is equals to 2 plus x. So therefore, we need to square both sides. Square both sides. This side is going to remove the square root. We're going to be left with a 2x plus negative 2x plus 4 is equal to, here we need to remove the bracket, guys. So I'm just gonna randomly do this together. Even if you write it like this, guys, it will still be the same because there is no a negative number here. So if it's like that, you can say x times x equals to x squared plus x times 2 is going to be 2x, and then 2x plus 2x is going to give us 4x, and then 2 times 2 is going to give us positive 4. So therefore, in this case, you take everything to the right hand side, so x squared will remain as s squared. Then if you take this negative 2x to that side, is going to be plus 4, which is going to be give us 6x, and then now you're going to be left with this 4. When it goes that side, it's going to be negative 4, which is going to be equal to 0, because why? This one goes that side is going to be negative, and then it's going to minus this 4 that is sitting here. If I'm moving a little bit too fast, guys, but if you don't understand, let me know on the comment section below, or do it step by step, because I'm a little bit jumping steps here, but I'm only doing that because I don't have space to write on here. But I hope that doesn't cause any confusion on your side. All right, so therefore here we're going to take out a common factor of x. We're going to be left with x plus 6 is equal to 0. This means that x is equal to 0, or x is going to be equal to negative 6. Therefore, now if you have a square root and you calculate the values of x, remember we have squared this to remove the square root before. It means we have changed the original equation. Therefore, the x values that we found, not all of them will satisfy the equation that was given initially. All right, so what do we do in this case? We need to substitute it back into the original equation and check if the equation will be satisfied. In other words, what I mean to say is that if you put 0 here, will it give you 2? Or if you put negative 6 here, will you get 2 or not? You will see that if you put 0 here, you will get the answer 2. Because now you're gonna say negative 2x times 0 is going to be 0, square root of 4 is going to be 2, and then minus 0, which is equal to 2. So therefore this will be the solution. However, unfortunately, x is equal to negative 6 fixed will not be the solution. So you must put it like that and let them know that x cannot be equal to negative 6. Right, now let's move right along to 1.2. Okay. All right, guys, here we go. There's a 1.2 here. It says solve for x and y simultaneously. So now if we have a look at this equation here, we have got two equations: 2x plus y is equals to 3, and y squared plus x and y is equals to 2. So therefore this could be equation 1, this could be equation 2. It makes life easy for you to mark them, but if you don't, it is also fine. So y is equal to 3, then you take this 2x to that side is going to be minus 2x, which gives us equation 3 in this case. So therefore you take equation 3, then you substitute it into equation number 2. Right, great stuff. So now if you have that, you're going to say y squared plus x and y is equal to 2. Then you take this y, you put it here. Wherever there's y, you put that y there. So therefore this simply means you're gonna have 3 minus 2x all squared plus x into 3 minus 2x all close equals to 2. right? So therefore now we need to remove the bracket here. This, when you remove the bracket, we need to expand this. In this case, we're gonna expand this into 3 minus 2 close. Therefore we're going to have x times 3 is going to give us 3x. X times that is going to give us minus 2x squared. I might as well take these 2 to this side, which is going to give us negative 2 is equal to 0. Therefore now here, when you remove the bracket, 3 times 3 is going to give us 9. 3 times negative 2x is going to give us negative 6x, and another negative 6x here, which when you add together will give us negative 12x. Therefore negative times negative, positive. 2 times 2, 4. Then x times x is going to give us x squared. Therefore what we left with here is just to simplify this. So therefore when we simplify this, we've got 4x squared here minus 2x. We're going to be left with 2x squared, and then we've got negative 12x here plus 3 is going to give us negative 9x, and then also we've got 9 here minus 2. This should give me plus 7 in this case is equal to 0. Therefore we need to factorize this here is equals to 0. If you factorize, it's going to be 2x and then x, then you're going to have 7 there and a 1 here, and then the other one needs to be positive or negative. Both of them needs to be negative. Here you go. Let me see. Then go. Right, there you go. So therefore x can be either 7 over 2 or x can be equal to 1. Now what do we do in this case? We need to go back into equation number 3 to find the values of x that correspond with the values of y rather that correspond with each value of x. Therefore we're going to say y is equals to 3 minus 2 into 7 over 2, or y is equals to 3 minus 2 into 1. Okay, therefore here in this case you are going to have y is equal to, if you take that out, 2 and 2 would cancel out. 3 minus 7 is going to give us minus 4, or y is equal to 1. Okay, great stuff. And that's how you deal with a question like this one when it comes to simultaneous equation. So moving right along, let's move on and come to a very interesting question of 3.1. 3.1 here, it says that consider a product which is given in this case by 1 plus 1 over 2 multiplied by 1 plus 1 over 3 multiplied by 1 plus 1 over 4. And then they say that each factor in the product is of the form of 1 plus 1 over n, where n is greater than 2. So which is very interesting. We're gonna deal with this one. Now they say that determine all the values of n for which the product will be an integer value. Okay, so we need to determine all the values of n where it will be an integer. So what are you looking for in this case? An integer. In this case you are looking for any value that when we simplify this equation, we need to see that this value can be divided by 2 for all the values that are greater than 2. So now what do we do in this case? Let's just come here and put this down here for the sake of understanding. Please guys, don't let questions like this one scare you. If you feel like they're gonna waste your time in terms of thinking, please just leave the question and move on to the other questions, and then you will come back to this one once you have got time. All right, so n needs to be greater or equal to 2. So now in this case, when you simplify this, put this in your calculator. 1 plus 1 over 2, this will give us 3 over 2. Therefore in brackets, this one will give us 4 over 3, and then this one will give us 5 over 4, and then it continues thereof to go on and on and on and on. So what do you see here? What you see here, guys, is that if you were to simplify the last term here, in this case, the term here that continues to go on and on and on, let me remove this so that you guys can see it goes on and on and on, is going to end up in this situation right here over n. So now what happens here when it goes on and on? What you are going to have, you're going to have n plus 1 all over n, which is our last digit or also our last product there at the end. So now in a case like this, what do you do now? So you will see here, guys, that the number or the number of the product that comes before this one here, okay, because if you ever look at this one, for this one to come here, it needs to be -1. If I were to say go back to this one, you're going to say what? 3 minus 1, it will give us 2. Then you're going to say 4 minus 1 is going to give us 3. So therefore it means the number that comes here has to be n minus 1. Okay, I hope that is clear in this case. All right, so now what do you do? The one at the top, what is happening? You are adding 1 every time. 3 plus 1, 4. 3 plus 1, 4. So therefore in order to go backwards, you need to minus 1 again. All right, so now what would happen here? It will say over n minus 1 but plus 1 here. Okay, great stuff. So now having that in mind, guys, I want you to look at something here. If you ever look at all these numbers here that we wrote down here, if you ever look at these numbers, if I were to say simplify this, you would come here and say 3 and 3 would cancel out, 4 and 4 would cancel out. It means here when you continue, 5 and 5 would cancel out, just like that. And then here also you can see that here you would say what? You would say n and n, because this one gives you n, -1 and -1 cancel, n and n would cancel out. So can you see, guys, what are you left with here? Can you see? So similarly, the same like that. So in the numbers here, you're going to be left with 1 over 2. And then in terms of n, you are going to only be left with n plus 1. Okay. So after cancelling out, you are going to be left with n plus 1. So now in order determine the n value for which the product will be an integer. In order for this number to be a whole number, remember an integer, you're looking for a whole number, you are not looking for the fraction, guys. So in order for you to have a whole number here, what must happen? The numbers of n here must ensure that this product here, when you divide by 2, it gives you a whole number. So what do? Let's say for an example, you say if, I just want you to put this into test. If n is equals to 3, what do you have? 3 plus 1 is equals to 4. 4 divided by 2 is equals to 2. All right. So if you were to say n is equals to 4, remember they said n has to be greater than 2. So if you say n is equals to 4, what are you going to have? You're going to have 5 here. You're going to say 4 plus 1, which is equals to 5, and that's not what you're looking for, because you won't be able to divide by 2. So you're looking for all the n numbers that makes this product to be divisible by 2. So which is what here? If you put 5, can you see? If you put what? So now what does this mean? This means that now everything, all your n values has to be an odd number. So therefore, in order for this to pass up until infinity, n must be an odd number. So n can be any value, but it needs to be an odd number. Therefore this will make the product to be a even number. Therefore this product here, this here, is going to be an even number. Therefore it's going to be able to be divided by 2. So that's how you would deal with a question like this one here, guys. So you can just say n must be an odd number up until infinity, therefore to ensure that the product can be divided by 2, and therefore it will make this n integer. I am Gaston Mapala. This was question 1. Let me see you in question